Hello. So, um, today I don't really have like much to talk about, I don't think. But it's getting a little bit weird going like 3 days without making a video. I have stuff on my mind, but usually like I have a working outline sort of in my brain. I know that I did want to talk about The Sound of Freedom, which I did go and see a couple of days ago. So, I should probably talk about that while it's still fresh. The main thing that I took away from that is that, aside from the fact that um, I can see why Hollywood um, hates it, um, just based on the subject matter and sort of exposing something that they probably would rather people not think about. Um, the last 5 minutes of the movie just made me uh, just realize like how salty they must be. Actually, I don't think a lot of them are seeing it or actually have seen it. The people that you see online that are like criticizing it or whatever, it looks like they've seen a clip or something, or maybe they saw the special message at the last 5 minutes or something, because I don't think that they've actually seen the movie. Um, but let me tell you, the last 5 minutes, it just kicked every movie of the last like 15 years like straight in the teeth. It was so um emotionally satisfying, um and just what a movie is supposed to do, and it did it so effortlessly. You kind of figured that the movie was going to do that, but you didn't know it was going to be so satisfying until you saw it. And it just was everything. It was like, see what happens when you just put simple ingredients in the bowl and stir it. Like all of this extra stuff that they are trying to do, that they these this reality that they're trying to impose upon people, it doesn't resonate. And it doesn't resonate because it's not based in any type of truth. And so, even if you want to criticize it and say it's just based on overblown this and that, like all the things that they try to say about it just really don't matter, because at the end of the day, it is a movie and you can take it as seriously as you want to take it. And as a movie, it is tremendously effective. Like, it's really launched itself into like one of the best movies, I mean, at least of the year. Uh, and, there's some places where you can tell it doesn't have that Hollywood bluster or whatever. Um, and it would be cool if it did. Like there are some places where I just thought, like, man, I would have did this. I would have picked this. I would have edited it like this because that's just what I do in movies. And just think about how much better I would be at stuff. But it was a great movie, and I think it was distributed by the people that, it was bought by the company that does The Chosen. I don't know how many like actual Christians were involved in making it. I don't know if it would be considered a Christian movie, but I mean that it really hit a target that I have yet to see any Christian movie do, which is to tackle subject matter like that. I mean, that is the advantage of being a Christian in the movie industry, is this movie, because it's not that Christians are not going to shy away from certain subject matter, and we shouldn't shy away from subject matter because there's no reason why we should. But at the same time, we can handle it with a dignity and, without traumatizing you, we can show you what the true issue is. So we deal with tough subjects all the time. And the reason why people think we don't is because we put out content for those weirdos who are going to leave 1-star reviews for it, and not for, it was necessary. Excuse me, it was necessary for this movie for it to be um, as tough as it was. And so it was forced to do that. But if the lady is wearing spaghetti straps in your Christian movie, you're going to have to hear some nonsense about it. And it was like all the Christians put that aside because of the subject matter. And they knew it was just going to be a rough whatever. They didn't have to focus on all of that minutia. And the Christians could just do their job and tell a story. How many, I've heard so many X-rated, Christian testimonies that just didn't, that we just, because of the way that we talked about it, it was fine. And you just heard the truth. And it's like, the world can't really do that. They can't speak about something honestly like that. They have to glorify something or whatever, or, put no lens on it so that it's like, okay, what was I supposed to learn from that? What exactly was whatever? So, yeah, it was really successful, and I was just really blown away by it, both um, from the way that it, the ending was just everything that a movie should be. And I mean, it was effortlessly, just perfectly aligned. And um, movies used to be like that all the time, but I mean, not nearly successful. I mean, I think about classic movies, and because in the world things have to be ambiguous. They have to end on a, well, maybe, so you don't quite get that concrete, like, yes, this is good. Um, so yeah, even in that, it was great. But also just the way that it handled the subject matter was so perfect and so considerate of anybody watching. It just was perfectly on its best behavior. Um, and I mean, that should be commended. Like, that is what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. That's what we could contribute to it. That hasn't been contributed to it yet, to cinema yet, is um, being able to do hard subject matter without it being, uh, you know, without feeling traumatized by the end of it. So anyway, that's that on that. And then on the Rapture Watch front, um, it's getting pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about, because I'm always like, after this is like what, my fifth potential Rapture Day this year. And every single time it happens, a couple days before, I'm just like, I really feel like there should be some more signs. I really feel like something should be happening. It's like if you were on a rocket, you're on a rocket ship and you're waiting for that thing to start, ready for it to be go time. You should be like feeling the engines start, or something. There should be some indication, you know. And so I haven't gotten that feeling yet at all this year, despite all of the date watching. It's never felt like, we're almost there, or it's about to happen. Let's go get ready. And while I don't necessarily expect to see it outside my window, or whatever, or days before, just be able to, it's supposed to be this sort of surprise thing. But I think that at the same time, if you are just watching the pot boil, like I have insisted on doing, you ought to be able to see some transition. Okay, it's not just going to go from still water to boiling. Um, so What I find interesting is that the Rapture team, uh, a group of dudes this time, has sort of zeroed in. They zeroed in on a couple of dates, and because they were feast dates, so we knew about it months in advance about them being potential dates. But as they're getting closer, as we're getting further into the year, the information. Hold on. All right. Anyways, um, so yeah, the dates are approaching, and people are kind of going like, "Oh, I think this is the day," and like now we're seeing more of the. It's really just like how women will say something, and then guys will be like, "That's dumb," and then a little bit later they'll be like, "Hey, you know what? I think this is whatever," and you just gonna be like, "Really? That's amazing. That's a great idea." So the men are finally on board with um, the idea of knowing a day. And, thank God, praise the Lord, because we don't need no contentions if we don't have to have. I mean, there's still some in the larger body, but like among people who are watching, it's sad when there's contention. So finally, people are willing to be like, listen, I think if it's not this particular day, I think I'm going to eat my shoe or whatever. People are starting to get really like confident in this idea based on a lot of different things. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that this day that people are pretty excited about is a week away, as of today. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. Are there any signs aside from like the standard ramping up that has been happening all year? We're looking at the war situation. That looks like it could, any point, anything could explode, either Ukraine and Russia, Israel and whoever they're fighting with again. It's just like, they're talking about nukes. Everyone's talking about just all kinds of not craziness. The monetary system is getting revamped. They're having a summit, the a 7 year agreement in September, and it's just like, okay, and it's just like reminding me, like, no matter what happens, like, it probably, I mean, you can't sit still the entire year because it's just everything is just being like, what? And now, like, even the weather situation, which has been crazy all year, and there's been lots of different things in different places. People seeing double suns, double moons in the sky, double rainbows, northern lights earlier than usual, alien crafts. They're talking about aliens like nonstop every single day. There's another article about aliens are probably real, and it's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, blah blah blah. It's like, okay. And then the heat, it's so hot that it's literally heating the oceans, heating the water. um and I'm thinking, like, is God like heating the earth because there's something that's going to happen, that the earth needs to be like, everything needs to be like warmer than usual? Like, it actually does seem kind of rampy. It seems a little bit rampy, like the convergence of multiple things. Because yeah, actually, I think hurricanes, um, the warmer the wind or water or something, it's like what makes hurricanes develop. So it's never been this hot. Everybody's like, we keep hitting record highs like in the same week, like it's bizarre. Um, which makes me think, like, did the change people, were they expecting this already? Were they really thinking about, like, maybe then not them necessarily, but maybe the devil was like, we got to get this climate change thing going because when when the sun starts scorching the earth, like it says in Revelation, we got to have a viable explanation. Like, it just kind of, every once in a while you get surprised at like how far in advance they can predict something. but or how far in advance they're thinking of stuff. Um, but yeah, so it's just getting it's looking interesting. It's looking interesting, and yeah, I'm just glad that I get to. I think I'm going to be able to see Oppenheimer, which is my last bucket list movie of the year. And then I was like, okay, I'll be ready to go after that. Because I'm literally not, there's nothing else I'm looking forward to now. And the writer's strike is going to ensure that nothing new gets done until Jesus comes back. So I'm good. I got no, not even the slightest, smallest thing attached me to this place. And yeah, I don't care. So yeah, we'll see what else happens this week. And if it stays relatively calm still, by the weekend, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be like, is it really happening or not? Like, so yeah, I just been thinking about that, and I mean, I like everybody's like sort of getting their own, if they're looking for stuff or if they're researching or reading the word. Everybody's kind of getting their own revelations and about certain things, and I don't know. I'm really focused on things being whatever God says that He had planned or had done before the foundation of the world. Like, I'm really like focused on that right now, and just about Jesus. And like the other day, I was thinking about how, I don't know which religion it is. It's a couple of them though that like to call him, to like to say that he didn't actually die or that he didn't appear as a human. And I don't know, it's just kind of interesting that uh, that's kind of how you can tell when, I mean, that's how I can tell that Christianity is real. But like, it sort of insists on, that's where the authority comes from. It's, insisting on certain things that people wouldn't otherwise care about. People don't care whether Jesus was God or an angel or an alien or human. They don't actually really care, but God cares. Which is why it says in the Bible, like, to just really stay away from anyone proclaiming, Jesus to not have died in the flesh or not have come as a human being and all that stuff. It's kind of, you can glean from that is something that the Spirit is adamant about. It's something that God is adamant about, because we as humans really don't care about that detail. And I think it's just because, aside from it being true, it's very important to what God is doing, because Jesus being a human being and dying, and him being kind of the first fruits, it refers to him as the first fruits, and sort of the first one post crucifixion to be resurrected in a heavenly body. So we are going to follow his pattern. He's not coming as some cosmic guy to do Superman stuff and then leave. He is really he's part of a plan, a literal, real plan that God is literally, really doing, that involves us all. And we're all going to partake in the life that he has. So We can't treat it like another mythical thing that explains stuff. You know, it's got to fit in your framework so that you can see the world properly. And yeah, so I've been thinking about that a lot. And I don't know, some other stuff that comes and goes. I can't, again, my brain is just all over the place. Um, so yeah, I think that's all. There was something else I was gonna say. What was it? Let's see. Can I remember what it was? Okay, yeah, I don't remember. So, anyways, I guess I'm done then.